always one of the most popular topics that we do, which is the college admission essays, tends to be the area everyone kind of stresses out the most. It's something that everyone hears about along with testing. Oh my gosh, what are we going to do about testing? And what do we do with these essays? But the essays can be a lot of fun if you package it correctly. And I want to just lead by saying that everybody, those essays are a culmination of every single thing that you do throughout high school. You being a brand and all of the cool uniqueness about you being packaged up and presented to an admissions officer. Sounds like it's tough to do, but if you start early, if you are educated on who the audience is and what they're looking for, you can absolutely do it and have fun with it. And I love the essays. Melissa, I'll ask you a question here in a moment. What is your favorite part of the essays? My favorite part is just seeing people evolve, seeing teenagers really grow
Mm.
and see all of the
Mhm.
amazing, cool things that they have done in high school. I mean, especially the shy ones, where they feel like I don't have anything to write about. Nothing tragic happened to me. Nothing real special I've done in school. And then when they go through all of that work, pulling the layers back of themselves, they go, oh my gosh, I'm kind of like a cool person. And I'm like, yeah, you are. Like, look at everything that you've done. So the soul searching, that's my favorite part. What's your favorite part of the essays?
I love that part too, Dale. And it allows us to have a different view. Like we're peeling back the layers of this individual and we get to see them almost to their core. And they tend to share so much more in that essay. We get to know our scholars really well, but this is a completely different side to our scholar, right? It's that vulnerable side where they're actually sharing, thoughts, feelings, experiences, things like that, where we mostly concentrate like on that academic, right? The academic advising, the college, that career, that major side. We don't always get to peek into to that side of their vulnerability. And I love it. Essay writing is so much fun to be able to see that side of our scholars. And once that essay is done, folks, it's done.
Fun.
And, I have started, I'm pretty sure Dale is going to say, pause, Melissa, because we'll get to that in a second. But I start my essay writing really early because I want to put the bow on the package, shove it aside, and we're done with it until we get to reopen the package and put that into our common application. We're not sitting there deliberating on it. We're not making edit after edit after edit. That bow is on it and it is wrapped up tight. So
Yeah.
that's kind of my take on the main essay. I think we just wrapped it up though.
We're done. We can go ahead and go home now, right? Melissa, how do you know all this stuff? Intros, like who are you? How long have you been working with teenagers applying to college? And tell me something that you like to do in your spare time. What's your hobby?
Okay, well, I'm Melissa Wood. I am an Access College America college consultant director. Don't let the title fool you. I have been in education for 25 years. This is my 25th year, and 19 years of that college career in academic advising. And so I love helping our families find that right fit, whether it's the fit to major, fit to career, and then fit to college. It's just so much fun for me. Um, I love really just not only that part of the exploration, but when it comes to helping our families find out those activities, those very important activities that turn into part of our application, working on that expanded resume. I'm throwing some of these terms out here because I know we're going to talk about them in just a little bit, but this is what allows us to have that peek inside our scholars' lives and to be able to pull out some of those unique experiences that we get to include in the college application process. Um, what I like to do in my free time? Well, I really like to take care of myself. So, mental health month for May is coming up, and I'm really taking care of my health and well-being. I love working out. I really love playing golf. And so, I am a weekend warrior when it comes to golf. So, every Saturday, Sunday, you will find my husband and myself out on the golf course, just playing around together with whoever decides to join us. So that's a little insight into me.
Awesome. I love it. I'm a big believer in mental health. I call mine DPT, Del Price Time, and I love to do DPT whenever I get a chance. On that note, everyone, I'm Del Price, founder and CEO for Access College America. We're an Austin-based college admissions planning agency, one of the local leaders for working with teenagers applying to college. We're deeply rooted in a lot of the local high schools, which is important because you want to work with somebody who has a track record of understanding the other awesomeness and uniqueness and challenges of your school, grading scale, resources, the different types of common majors that the teens at your school are applying to, and things of that nature. We are known as a very high touch point, boutique white glove agency. Our intake is very limited. We don't work with everybody. We require a mutual fit. And our scholars get to attend strategy sessions with custom curriculums attached. We have best in class essay prep services, which feature workshops, and we also have research projects and test prep with a lot of our packages as well. So I am excited about presenting tonight's presentation on the college admission essays and some of the topics that we're going to go over. Status of college admissions. What are we seeing? What are some of the more common trends that we're hearing about? We're also going to discuss a little bit about the main essay. Of course, we're going to go into the common application activity list, expanded resumes. I've got a bunch of questions, and Melissa and I will be answering those throughout the presentation. And please, even if you did not get Kinsey your question, which I'm sure everybody here has already spoken with Kinsey, she's super awesome. If you didn't get those questions to Kinsey, that is okay because you can send them with us on the chat box here. And for those of y'all watching the recording, post your questions in the comments section and you might just get a response from that too. Now, what is happening in the world of admissions? Well, I first of all just want to start out with specifically what are we seeing in the world of admissions as it specifically relates to the essays? Well, what we know is that classroom discussions are rigorous. We know group work is central to learning, and we know that campuses and the university climates, they are becoming more politically and culturally charged. And so what I'm trying to tell you is colleges today, they're looking for students who can build bridges and not just win arguments, all right? We're noticing a lot of universities are wanting to get a much better understanding of who are they about to allow into their home, right? We all want to know if you're coming to my house, I need to know all about you. I need to know more than just grades and stats and what you've done. I can get a lot of that off of your activity list. I'm going to see it in your transcript. I need to know what gets your heart racing. What are you willing to fight for? What are you willing to stand up for? And so I'm going to say all of this for those of you watching now. I want you to understand something. The most important thing that you get out of this is that the old essay prep strategies are old. Selective colleges and universities are asking those bigger picture questions. It's not just about students asking or showcasing a passion. They're not just here, your essays don't need to be just about demonstrating leadership or asking, or answering the question, what is it that you're excited about? This is about showing competitive colleges and universities, they're wanting you to reflect on how you reacted to disagreements with peers, how you reacted to disagreements with teachers, how you challenged teammates. What are you like in a moment of conflict or tension? How are you collaborating with people who think differently? So, admissions officers, what they're telling us very clearly is that they want students who can coexist, who can contribute, who can lead in diverse intellectual and social environments. And finally, what I will tell you for places like the University of Texas, very, very important. If you're applying to UT or you're applying to the UCs or any university that has a holistic review, do not wait. Don't wait to create a test plan. Don't wait to determine what you're going to do during the summer in June. Don't wait to build activities in the spring of the senior year. Most admissions officers, they will already have an opinion formed about you spring of the junior year. When you're applying to colleges and universities, spring of the junior year, they will already have an understanding of what is it that you have done in high school and what kind of student are you going to be on that college or that university. Start early, create a track record of improvement, of innovation, community leadership, of demonstrating excellence through your activities. Start early because that application for universities that have holistic reviews, it starts before spring of the junior year. It starts the freshman year. That's when your actual story starts. Melissa, anything you want to add to that?
Yes, and I want to piggyback on the don't wait to get started. Get that writing going. I mentioned it in our little back and forth here in our little chat before we got started. I'm working with my scholars early to get those essays completed so that we can concentrate on the school specific questions that come the summertime. Those college essays, the essay topics have already been released, friends, for the class of 2026 and 2027, excuse me. Those have already been released by the Common App. And so there's no time like the present to go in and look at those essay prompts. We also want to let you know that now while you've got a little bit of time to be able to write and you're still connected with an English teacher or somebody who you would trust to help read your essay before going off contract for the summer, now is a great time to get that going, really get those ideas flowing, create that outline, and just get started. That is the biggest piece of advice is I can say, let's get started.
That's the hardest part is getting started. And I think once you get started, then it's like, okay, I got this. It's like, you exercise. The hard part is getting to the gym. I mean, for me at least, it is. And then I'm there and I'm like, well, I'm here. I might as well get on the treadmill, right? So that's the hard part though, is just getting started. And it's scary. And so Melissa, I mean, what do you recommend? Like if I'm a junior and I'm like, okay, this is inevitable. I know I'm going to go to college. What is your advice for getting started? Where do I find the prompts? First of all, what is the main essay? That's a lot to unpack. So I'm going to pass that over to you.
So, thanks, Dale. Number one, I'm putting the essay prompts in the chat for everybody. So, you can actually click and open that. There are six main essay prompts. Yes, there are seven listed. That seventh one is actually write a topic, write an essay on any topic of your choosing. And so, my biggest piece of advice, let's find two essay prompts that we feel like we can get our talking points. What do we feel that we can write and share our story? It's not Dale's story. It's not Melissa's story. It's not grandma's story. It's not our favorite auntie's story. It's my story. And we're not just sharing it. We're not just telling it. We are really illustrating this story. You want to make the reader feel like they are right there with you, right there with you. And you want to hook them from the very first paragraph so that they don't want to put down that essay. They don't want to say, okay, I've had enough of this application. You literally get about 8 minutes. It's an 8 minute read over your entire application from the application itself, to the main essay, to the supplemental questions, to that expanded resume, to all of the things that are included. And that essay, that hook that you are going to grab their attention, you get 650 words, 650 of your best words to provide your story, who you are, where you come from, what do you believe in. I will tell you one of the more popular essay prompts is discuss an accomplishment, event, or realization that sparked a period of personal growth and a new understanding of yourself or others. Colleges are looking for that personal growth. How did you overcome something? What did you do? How were you a change maker? How are you a change agent? Okay. And so they want to see those qualities in your writing. And the biggest thing I can say is they just want to see, can you write? Can you tell us a story about you? Okay. That was a lot to
I, it
unpack.
was awesome. And I want to kind of go back a little bit because you put a lot down that I picked up, by the way. Um, I want everyone to understand that that main essay, folks, by the time the reader gets to your main essay, first of all, let's understand the audience. It's probably somebody in their 20s, 20 something. And it could be somebody that's reading 30, 40 plus applications in a day. And you're only going to have like maybe 6 to 8 minutes with that particular reviewer. And the majority of the 8 minutes will be spent on the essays, but they're speed reading it, folks. They've read your transcript, they've seen the test scores, they reviewed the recommendation letters, they see your school profile, they know what is considered average in terms of stats, they understand the class rank. Newsflash, you're all going to be ranked, even if you're from a non-ranking high school, or even if you are outside auto admits, you're all going to be ranked. So the purpose of that main essay, it is to humanize you. I also want to point out, they see your zip code, they see your parents' names and the education attached to the parents' names, right? So they already have an idea formulated. The 650 words, which is the main essay, this is prime time real estate, folks. For those of y'all that have joined us at the very beginning, I said I love that this is where we get to see teenagers really evolve into a much better, stronger human. But the other reason that I love the writing, you get an opportunity to throw in a plot twist. Here is your chance to take control of the narrative. Can't go back and do anything about the summers. Can't do anything about a blemish on the transcript. Can't go back and play woulda, coulda, shoulda with the APs. You now have a chance to actually do something and have control over that. A majority of the folks that we work with, the reason why a lot of our folks get awesome results, it's the essays. Let's just call a spade a spade. At the end of the day, everyone that's been admitted into UT, they're all going to have good grades, but not everyone that applied has excellent essays. The folks getting into UCLA, awesome grades. Not everyone that applied had great essays. So the point is, those essays are one of the main reasons why you're going to make it across the finish line. If you are not part of the auto admit, hear me out, everybody. If you are not part of the auto admit, one way that you can beat the odds, it's the essays. That main essay, 650 words of prime time real estate. That reader needs to get you. They need to understand who you are. And it's important that you are very, very authentic using your own voice, like Melissa said, when you're doing this. So I want to go ahead and caution everybody. One of the biggest mistakes that we see teenagers make with the main essay, they are writing what they think colleges want. They are trying to impress the reviewer instead of being authentic, all right? They write about leadership, service, hardships because it sounds good. But it's coming off a bit too generic. So admissions officers, they're looking for folks that have a level of self-awareness that is rare in this age group. They're not looking for performance, they're looking for self-awareness. Also, a lot of teens, when they write that main essay, it's too surface level. They they describe events instead of analyzing them. Big difference. I hope somebody had an epiphany there. You're describing an event versus analyzing them are two different things. It's the difference between saying, I learned teamwork versus this experience changed me, and here's how. Okay. So you need to discuss why circumstances matter to you, what it revealed to you. So the essays are not necessarily about what happened, but it's more about it's more about how you thought during that event. All right. So very, very important that your main essay, we're not talking about the major, we're not talking about that university. We're not talking about, and there's a lot of common topics out there. We're not talking about mission trips. We don't want to talk about injuries. We don't want to talk about divorce. We don't want to talk about travel abroad. Folks that want to go into business, let's not talk about, DECA or FBLA. Folks that want to be engineers, let's not talk about tinkering around with Legos when you were a kid. Like there's a lot of common themes here, right? And so that main essay, it's an awesome place to be if you can answer the question. And there's not a prompt that is better than any others. All the prompts for the common application all ask the same thing. They just want to know, tell me about you. So, all right. So I got a question, and this is from Jennifer, who has a junior at Westlake interested in business. My son keeps hearing that the main essay is where colleges want to get to know him, but I'm confused about what that actually means. So, the essay focus on a challenge? Just answer this. Should the essay focus on a challenge, a personal story, or something tied to his future goals in business? Okay, Jennifer. First of all, go Shaps. I love the business incubators and the accelerator program at Westlake, but I kind of answered a little bit of this already. But how do you want to address it,
Mhm.
Melissa?
So we definitely do not want to focus on business. We don't want to focus on the projects that we have done through incubator or through DECA or any of our other organizations. We really want to focus on the student. You get to focus on incubator and projects and the connection with a business and what he wants to pursue. Those are in the supplemental or the short answer questions. And that's where you make the connection directly with the major and with the university within those supplementals. That main essay, again, is tell me something about you. Who are you? Describe that challenge. Just walk us through what that personal growth was. Walk us through how you learned, how you engaged. What did that really look like when it comes to the root of everything? And also, I want to throw this out here too. How can you tell me about your race, your ethnicity, your cultural connection without telling me? And so making that connection, because I know, Dale, you know this, the climate of college admissions, we want to make sure that every student is on that level playing field when it comes to cultural diversity. And how to tell me. How do you tell me? How do you show me? How do you reflect on your community without telling me specifically which community you are coming from, which with when it comes to that piece and diversity. And so I just wanted to plug that out there because I know it tends to come up, right? Whether it's Legos or we're using our Getrum with our Indian girls who are doing their dance, right? And they all want to talk about that dance and that experience and what they learned through that experience. But how can you show me and share that with me without specifically stating it? And so it takes a lot, and that's where that 650 words comes into play.
Okay, so what was the name of the dance, the Indian dance? How do you
The
the
Aryan
art?
Getrum.
How do you know? Well, I mean, I know how you know that. It's common. A lot of Indian young girls or young ladies like to talk about that. That is a very
Mhm.
common thing. It's an incredible accomplishment. I've always wanted to go to one. I've heard about them. They're like hours long. And it's an incredible accomplishment, but it is very, unfortunately, it is overrepresented in the applicant pool. It's just like a lot of Boy Scouts that want to write about their Eagle Scout project in the main essay. It's rare in the Boy Scout world, but it's overrepresented in the main essay. So, Jennifer, I just want to tell you that, your question, how does my teenager s- sound like himself? What does that actually mean? You can take very ordinary circumstances and make them sound extraordinary. One of my very favorite main essays that I ever read, and this student graduated from LASA and ended up getting admitted into every single college they applied to, including the University of Texas Touring Scholars Program. And now he's actually at Stanford studying computer science. His main essay was so simple, everybody. It was about walks. Every single night, for as long as he could remember, his family took evening walks together. That was a very precious, sacred time for the whole family. And everything stopped for the 10 or 15 minutes that his family walked. It forced them to connect as a family. And he talked about what he learned in those walks. He talked about the seasons changing, how animals interacted with each other. He talked about patience, the stillness. Sometimes they didn't even talk, they just walked in stillness. And there was a little bit of meditation that took place at that point. But he talked about patience and grace and compassion and some of the lessons that he learned, and hearing his family, his mom and his dad talk about their days and how they were managing circumstances. And what an amazing what I mean, I would never know some of the lessons he learned in life from the transcripts like that, right? And so ordinary circumstances of just what do you find, what do you do that can give me insight into that? We don't have to write about anything crazy. Now, Sarah, I love your question. And I kind of picked on this. I mentioned this a minute ago too. Sarah was wanting to know, and Melissa, you can answer this, or I'll go ahead. But what are some websites that I can use to write my essays to help with vocabulary and action verbs that colleges look for? Okay, Sarah, I love your question, but I want to remind you that we are writing these essays without the intention of impressing somebody. First of all. Second of all, if you're using words that you can't pronounce, also a red flag. We never want to use words to sound smarter. We want to use our own voice. So, Sarah, obviously, just use the same kind of lingo that you would use, your tone, your vibe. Let your personality come through. This is about you being authentic and celebrating you as a person. I understand a lot of teens, they like to use big words and they want to kind of elevate their tone a little bit. I say write the essay, but use things like Grammarly to check your punctuation, words, things like that. But Melissa, what do you have to say?
I will definitely say do not use AI to write this essay. Those college admissions advisors, they will have met you, number one, through an in-person college visit or when they come to campus. Hint, hint, wink, wink, pro tip. Number three, they are also going to be, they know what teenage speak sounds like. They're also going to be able to tell the difference between an AI written, AI generated versus authentic writing. And like Dale said, using big words that you would never use in your normal language or in a normal essay, an English essay, that doesn't sound genuine. And
Yeah.
you want to share your genuine self within the main essay and your supplemental writing. And so, I mean, things that could turn into a great essay are things that changed your perspective. They had a shocking outcome. They helped you deal with that adversity. And maybe it was something that was funny. You can tell that you can share that comedic side of yourself with your admissions advisor because what a great way to kind of, like Dale said, flip the script, right? Turn it into something that is not just about you, but sharing who you are, that personality that lies within. So thank you, Sarah, for asking that question. But going back to it, keep your language,
No.
not somebody else's, not AI, not something where you've gone in and you've read other essays that are posted online. Because guess what? Those admissions advisors, they know those essays are there too. And so they're going to be able to see some parallels and similarities.
Yeah, I want teenagers to understand something here that an over edited essay, those of y'all that are going to be using ChatGPT and all these other tools, and some of you that are going to pay essay specialists to over edit, actually, it's probably the parents here, let's be honest. Parents, those of you that are going to pay essay specialists to over edit these essays, it's a dead ringer. I mean, we know. We can even on our team, we can see when there's been way too much outside influence. First of all, we look at the English grade, and if the English grade is not among the highest grades, and then all of a sudden you've got this essay that like literally reads like one of the most amazing, incredible essays we've ever read in our entire life. But we've got like an A minus in that on level English class. Come on now. Like there's some, or we look at the EBRW score on the SAT and, it's in the 600s or low 700s, but you've got this main essay that's like a once in a career kind of read. We can tell everybody when this is the teenager's work or if this is really something from somebody else. The psychology of a teenager is different than the psychology of an adult. I'll leave it at that. Priya, who has a junior at LASA, interested in computer science, wanting to know, is it okay to write about learning differences in the essays? Priya, listen, this is a very personal question, but I know that a lot of folks, they deal with anxiety, ADHD, dysgraphia, dyslexia, depression. It's a very real experience that a lot of teenagers deal with. And I understand that a lot of people do want to write about that, but I will tell you, and ultimately it is a personal decision if you want to disclose that. But I would hesitate from disclosing anything like this. And here's why. Why colleges and universities do tend to be a bit progressive and and accepting of situations like this. And there's often student support centers. The people in the Office of Admissions tend to be behind 10, 15, 20 years. And I have just seen way too many awesome, incredible scholars disclose that they have depression or anxiety and then not get the decision they expected. And I can't help but wonder if it was because somebody in the Office of Admissions who may have been a bit ignorant thought this person is not going to be able to succeed at my university. And they use it as a wedge issue. Even if you take something like this and you turn it into a strong suit, I say, look, it's nobody's business. All right. We're going to keep that to ourselves. But it's ultimately your decision, Priya, if your teenager decides to disclose something of that. So, great question. Actually, very, very common when questions like that get brought up. Short answer questions. All right. So, we have
Ooh.
the main essay, which every single university is going to read. All right. So, you write one main essay. We don't want to talk about other colleges and universities in that main essay. Typically takes between 10 to 15 hours if you're working on this. So one reason why you want to get started early. Secondly, we have those short answer questions. These are specific to the colleges and the universities, but they have a bit of a unique pattern to them. A lot of the universities will ask similar questions, but only the university will read their short answer questions. And they typically are between 150 to 250 words long. Now, make no mistake, the short answer questions are often just as hard as the main essay. And if you're doing this right, they should be just as hard as the main essay. A lot of students kind of blow this part off. They write generic canned responses and they repurpose it and they shop it around to a bunch of colleges and universities. And there's a lack of authenticity with those short answer questions. You guys, I started out by saying the reason why you will get admitted into some of those more selective colleges and universities will be because of the strength of your essays. Okay. So, what I mean by that, research, research, research. You owe it to yourself and your mom and your dad to learn about the colleges that you're applying to. And what I mean by this is you've got to go to the department of the university, of the major that you'll be studying at, learn about the faculty members, write down who you would love to have mentor you, write down tools, technologies, labs, facilities. Read the school newspaper, people. Every single university, you need to do this. What is it that the students are protesting? When was the last time there was a tuition increase? What is it that makes that college, that department, not the university specifically, but that department really incredibly unique? What is it for those of y'all that are applying to business? What is it that the Macomb School of Business has that the Mays School of Business does not have, right? There are key distinctions here. You need to know this. You've got to know this so that when you are working on your short answer questions and these universities say, why do you want to go into business or why do you want to go into computer science? They're actually asking three things. I hope someone's writing this down. And if you're watching the recording, push pause. First, where did you learn that you wanted to go into this major? What were you doing? Who were you with? What was the environment like? Where did you have that epiphany? What were you tinkering around on? Set the tone. Secondly, what have you done with that level of interest? Was there a particular project that you decided to take ownership of? Was there an additional class? Was there a program, a curriculum? What was it that you've done now that you've realized this, I am meant to do this, okay? What we're doing is we're backing up with intellectual curiosity that this is meant for you. We're providing that evidence here. We're layering your response with experience. That's what you need to do to maximize space. The third part of how you answer this question, what is it about that school? What do they have that nobody else has? I don't want to hear about rankings. I don't want to hear about location. I don't want to hear about something that all the other schools have. So we're not going to talk about my mom and my dad said this is a good school, or my grandfather went to college here, or my whole family went to A&M and I got to get in too, because if not, it's just going to be bad. We're not talking about that. We are talking about academically speaking, what is it that they have that's going to complement what you have been working on? Folks, this is how you write a competitive short answer question. Colleges and universities can have 2, 3, 4 plus short answer questions. Here's my pro tip. Go into the common application, and I'm going to take a break after this, Melissa. Go into the common application, add the colleges that you're going to apply to, and look up the short answer questions and make a list of what those are. Go for it, Melissa. Go for it.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I am going to share my screen here and do exactly what Dale just said. So I've titled a Google Doc college essays. You can see that first tab on the screen is showing main essay, my 650 words. I've selected my two topics that I'm going to contemplate on. But look, I've gone to UT. What are you interested in the major that you chose as your first choice? Folks, this is exactly what Dale was saying. These are coming directly off of the common application. I can go to A&M. I have their two short answer questions here. But guess what? A&M was a little sneaky and they threw in, why have you chosen? These three questions here are found in the scholarship section, folks. You gotta dig deep, not just on the college website, but you gotta dig deep in common application. I've done it for Rice. I've got those. Why do you wish to study the academic area you chose? And then why Rice University? Same thing for Purdue. How are your opportunities both in and out of the classroom? How is Purdue going to support your interest? Okay. And then tell us why you're choosing your major. Are we seeing kind of a common thread here? If I look at Boulder, why have you chosen what you want to study and why? At Boulder. So you're going to see these and you can see they're about 250 words here, folks. This is how you get off of the main page. This is how you actually do your homework. And let me tell you this pro tip, keeping one document all together, adding those tabs, you don't have to think of what did I call that SAQ? What did I call that supplemental for A&M? What did I title that? And you've got it all in one place. I can't tell you this was like a huge, oh, for my scholars, when I said, let's put it in one place, because then you don't have copy of a copy of a copy. You got one copy. And then everything is right there for you so that you can work on it. You can brainstorm it. So when it comes to putting this in your common application, you're going to one document, not two, three, four, five of them, just one. And so this is a great pro tip. Gonna say I'm proud of myself for putting it together. But I use this with my scholars all the time. I use this with my everyday students. I use this with my after schoolers or my ACA scholars because it helps with that organizational skills and those strategies.
I think that's so important is to just get organized. Let's map this out. Let's get all the colleges we're applying to. Let's make a list of the questions. You can go ahead and write them out, even if that application is not open. The application's open on August the 1st. Let's be honest, folks. If you have 15 short answer questions that you have predicted that you're going to have to write, and let's say, okay, one or two colleges flip the script and now you have to rewrite two or three questions. That's a lot better. That's a better place to be than starting at square one on August the 1st and realizing, oh my God, I got 15 short answer questions. Oh, and wait, I still need to finish out a little bit on the main essay. So the timeline, and because we got a question, Michelle, who is at Lake Travis, Cav Nation, parent of a sophomore interested in pre-med. When should students actually begin brainstorming the main essay? I keep hearing different advice, but I do not want us to start too late or so early that she burns out before the application season. Michelle, great question. First of all, if you've got a sophomore, I'm going to tell you two words. Not now. You got time. You don't have to do the any writing prep right now. Too early. There is, but we do want to start early, but not right now. Um, Melissa, listen, folks. I mean, one of the things that I love about my team is the fact that they are pretty much all school counselors, and I have learned so much from them. And because of folks like Melissa, we start very early. So, Melissa, let's say that you've got a sophomore family. What is your timeline like with main essay prep? Like, when do you normally start? What do you normally do? Walk us through that because we're on the timeline slide now, so perfect timing.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're actually gonna pause. We're gonna push pause on the main essay because I want to work on activity list building. I want to work on that expanded resume. But then and those are things that are going to develop, right? And we're not going to actually have a final list, if you will, until it's time to apply. But we're going to continue to build on those two documents themselves, okay? Main essay writing, I like to start around the holidays of junior year because that gives us a little bit more time to reflect. Plus, the Common App essay prompts tend to come out about that time. They're finalized around spring break. But if we can look back at what was for the previous year and kind of anticipate, are there a couple of essay prompts that I can start working on? I love looking at the holidays because then that gives us a bit more time. If I can have that main essay for my scholars, I've got five that are done. Super excited. Five done. We've wrapped, put the bow on the package that is
Amazing.
pushed off to the side. We are like, and that was April the 1st. Like, if you can have it done like within that time frame, right? Looking at July 1st, kind of like the latest timeline, but that because that July 1st timeframe tends to be when we start working on the supplemental questions or the short answer questions, because that is when they are released by the universities. And so creating that Google Doc with all of those short answer questions with your main essay, because August the 1st is going to roll around real quick. June to August. That is when the application goes live. Our kind of timeline for the fall of senior year is September 1. September 1, we are pushing submit on our applications that are in the Common App. UCs, they're a little later, but at least we will have completed all of our applications in Common App, including that main essay, that activity list, that expanded resume, and those short answer questions for each of the schools, making it super easy. You get to relax and enjoy senior year. After you hit submit on the applications, then we're kind of laid back. We get to wait. And then we play that waiting game. And I know the waiting game goes on forever for some people, it feels like, but you are not one of the ones who are going December 1. How do I get all my stuff done? You're not the one sitting there like pulling your hair out, chewing on your fingernails, wondering, am I going to be able to hit submit on those applications? Because guess what? You're done. September 1st, you are good to go. Now you're just sitting back on Easy Street.
Definitely. I think that this is awesome because it allows you to take time. So if you are a sophomore, starting the idea of just brainstorming, let's look at the prompts. Let's take a look at what they were last year. Let's kind of get our feet wet a little bit and discussing how the main essays are going to be structured, get an understanding of the audience. That type of stuff is a great place to be. Because let's just be honest here about this. A lot of colleges and universities have what's called rolling admissions. I'm talking about Arkansas, and I'm talking about a lot of other schools where that application opens up before August the 1st. They have university applications that go live as early as July the 15th. We're all from Texas. Everybody from Texas applies to the same colleges, same universities. Schools like Arkansas, schools like Tennessee cannot have an entire incoming class of folks from Texas. So beat the rush. What I mean by that is if a university like Arkansas, that application goes live on 7/15, let's not wait until August the 1st when everybody else, we're talking thousands and thousands of people, are going to apply to that exact same university. Let's get that application out of the way. So with Melissa's strategy, shout out to her 5 scholars that have that main essay finished. We can get that application out of the way when that application goes live on 7/15, which is when most teenagers are only now starting to tinker around with that main essay and still think that they're early. You want to prioritize the colleges that have rolling admissions. You want to get those applications done and dusted first. So as an agency, we like to get the main essay for everybody finished by July the 1st with a little bit of a 2-week grace period. If you're applying to any colleges that open and go live mid-July, we can get that done. But the month of July is when these colleges and universities do release the prompts for the short answer questions. We already know UT's prompts are staying the same. We already know Texas A&M, those prompts are staying the same. So in theory, we have all the information we need to get those applications finished so that when they do go live, one less thing we got to worry about. But again, the month of July, we don't want to be working on the main essay and working on short answer questions and working on an activity list and working on an expanded resume. And by the way, we're not getting this done until the fall of the senior year. It's too stressful. I mean, it's just too stressful. You want to get this behind you and enjoy your senior year. And your senior year, you want to be focusing on applications for scholarships. You want to be focusing on applications for honors colleges. We still got to do housing. And mom and dad out there, y'all got to do those financial disclosures. So if we can focus the fall on scholarships, honors applications, housing, and financial disclosures, that's great. That's a good place to be. That is our timeline too. So great question. We got time for one more quick question. Kevin from Westwood, Warrior Nation. Parent of a junior interested in engineering. My son has strong grades and rigor, but I'm not sure how much the activities list really matters. We didn't even cover that. Is the activities section just a resume in short form, or is there actual strategy involved in how those entries are written and ordered? All right, Melissa, how would you answer that
Ooh,
question quickly, I guess?
okay, this is spicy because You want to make sure that your activities, number one, are demonstrating leadership, that it doesn't matter if you are designated a leader within an organization. So looking at, your STEM related organizations specific to engineering, computer science, whatever those courses are. Okay. Um, the activity list, you want to make sure, number one, your first activity is going to be related to the major that we are wanting to pursue and study. So your activity list, along with your expanded resume, those two kind of work in tandem, if you will. But it is important for that activity list. It is not just a laundry list of all of the things that you have participated in. It is very selective of those that are going to demonstrate leadership, demonstrate depth and breadth within those organizations or within those activities that your son has participated in. And I'm actually going to throw this blog into the chat for everybody here on tips for creating a common app activity list. So Bonnie has put together a great blog. It is still very valuable for every one of you. And there's also another one I'm going to throw out there, how to write that expanded resume, because we talked about the main essay being your biggest piece of real estate in your application. Your expanded resume is even bigger when it comes to that real estate of all of the organizations, all of the activities that you've participated in, all of your leadership, STEM related projects, your research projects, your extracurriculars, your community service and volunteering. What types of honors and awards have you received? And so it's a very, they work in tandem, that activity list and that expanded resume, because your activity list, you get your top 10 activities. Your expanded resume, you get all of them. And so we want to make sure that we've selected those activities that demonstrate that fit to major. And we are highlighting those within that activity list because everybody gets to see that activity list in the Common App. Not everybody gets to see that expanded resume. So again, highlighting all of the great things that you are doing both in school and out of school.
So we have a workshop that is a 2-hour hands-on intensive. It is a main essay workshop in which our scholars and all attendees go through brainstorming strategies, breakout sessions. They read examples of competitive essays, examples of weak essays. And I just launched a poll. If you answer the poll questions, you are entered to win in the drawing to attend that workshop for free. That is a $250 value. Somebody is going to get access to that workshop totally free. And that is a main essay workshop. Answer the poll questions and you will get access into that. When we look at why families hire us, we really hear 4 reasons why. First, it is because we are considered local leaders. We are deeply rooted in the high schools that we serve. We've worked with these high schools like Westwood and Lake Travis and Westlake and Lhasa. I could go on for nearly 10 years. We understand the architecture of those high schools, which is critically important because, newsflash, everybody from these schools apply to the same colleges and same majors. Secondly, we have a STEM specialty about our organization. So we really specialize in those applying to majors within engineering, computer science. Business is a STEM major, everybody. Or if you want to get into medicine, pre-med, natural health sciences, things of that nature, these are very competitive, impacted majors. Acceptance rates are going to be a lot lower for those applying to a STEM major. So you typically have 2 types of consultants. You'll have generalists that do a little bit of everything, and then you'll have a specialist. If you want to go into sports and do D1 sports, go to a specialist. If you want to go to school overseas, go to a specialist. If you want to be on stage and do performing arts, specialist. STEM, our tools are sharp. These are the types of majors we do 99% of the time. The third reason why a lot of folks hire us, best in class essay prep services. I'm telling you now, The essays are one of the big reasons why our scholars get admitted into colleges all over the United States, and they're beating the odds. A lot of the folks that we work with are applying to the University of Texas. They're getting admitted, and they are non-auto admit into STEM majors. Those essays have got to be as good as you can possibly get them. And we have a system curated that includes one-on-one coaching with workshops and an essay specialist that you're getting feedback and advice from several different angles. And then lastly, we have awesome add-ons, research projects with a mentor. That's a 6-week mentorship project. There's also add-ons like test prep where you can get unlimited test prep, which I will tell you, sophomores, this is the time to start thinking about test prep. So let me give you a little bit of information here on our website that you can scroll down on. First of all, that blog that Melissa dropped in the box, you can go to our blog page, and you can also, for those that are watching the recording, go pull that up. You can go here, go to our blog page and type up common application. I spelled it wrong. So let's be helpful if you spell it right. All right. It's the activity list that you are wanting to pull up here. Oh my goodness. Activity
Go
list.
to admissions.
What is it?
It's in the college admissions
Oh, it's in
tab.
the
One
college admission.
over.
Oh, okay. If you click on college admissions tab, you will see a blog that is on the activity list here. Well, here's one on prompts, short answer questions. Let's see here. There is a blog here on the common application activity list. If you tinker around with this, you'll find it, I promise. The other thing I want to go to is the free events page. Okay, so everybody today is joining us for this one, college admission essays. College Planning 101 is next, but Melissa is inviting you all to meet her. She will be at the West Bank Library Saturday, April the 18th. And especially if you're an eighth grader, a freshman, or a sophomore, y'all need to attend this one. 7 critical steps every high schooler needs to do to be college ready. This is a big one. So you definitely don't want to miss out on that. That's at the West Bank Library, literally across the street from Westlake High School. We also have updates and admissions from UT and A&M. So check out our free events page. We're opening up this family forum to everybody. This is a special event from the masterclass series that we do, which is exclusive for families that work with us, but we're doing a presentation on job interviewing skills. So a lot of really great free programming, and you can check that out by going under our free events tab right up here as well. If you want to learn more about us, perhaps you're interested in learning how to be one of our scholars. Parents, you can book your 30-minute discovery call on our website. Just click on the Contact Us button, and right up there, you can scroll down and you can find time that is convenient for you and the family to book your 30-minute discovery call, and that's going to be with me. In those 30 minutes, I'll go over our pricing, our packages, our timeline. I will go ahead and tell you now a couple of options under the Flex Prep option for those of you that want to get some pricing information online. If you click on the Flex Prep option tab right up here, another page should open up. I'm doing a screen share. It takes a minute. Main essay package. Look, a la carte main essay, $4.99. We're running a special right now. It's normally $6.99. You get access to that main essay workshop, 3 30-minute one-on-ones, plus some offline edits using Google Docs too. So main essay package on sale right now, a la carte $4.99. If you want to get access to our masterclass series, all of those workshops, class of 2027, on sale right now for $2,000, comes with a workbook and action items, and we have them on demand. So if you cannot attend the live workshop, we have the recording for you as well. So lots of great flex prep options right there. I just want to go, I'm like determined to find that activity list. I'm like, I'm kind of stubborn. So I'm gonna do activity list. Did I already try it this way? If you look up the activity list, what did you type in, Melissa?
I just went to the blog post and was in college admissions, and I just did a control F.
Oh, control F, control F. And then activity. Oh, there we go. Nailed it. This is why it helps hiring people that are smarter than you. So here we go. Tips for creating a common application activity list. And we even have a point system that we have created to do that in terms of how you should rank those activities. So I hope everybody caught that. Okay, Melissa, final words?
You guys, the best piece of advice that I can give you is just to start. Find time, set aside time to look and put together an outline or talking points, if you will. What essay prompt truly speaks to you, and will you have a lot to write about, a lot to say, and share your story. Don't share anybody else's story. It's your story to tell. And so be there, be present, and be vulnerable. That's the biggest thing is be vulnerable, pull away the layers, take off the makeup and just be vulnerable and share your true side with that admissions advisor and with yourself because you never know what you'll discover within once you start putting fingers to a keyboard and putting it on a Google Doc.
My last piece of advice is teenagers, like Melissa said, start early, but this can be fun. This can be inspiring. Parents, my tip to you is don't try to figure it out. Hire somebody like us. Just enjoy being a parent. Go through this experience, keeping the peace in the house, and outsource, outsource, outsource. Melissa, as always, fun presenting with you. Thank you for being excellent and showing me how to find my blog. Everybody else, y'all have a wonderful evening. Take care. Bye bye.